So we're here on Level Podcast, right? That's what we're doing.
That's what it is.
That's what we're doing. Okay. So what are we talking about today?
So today,
Today.
let's talk about expectation and appreciation. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so this is my topic.
Let's on the record.
Woo!
Let's go with that.
So this comes from people having high expectations from people who already do a lot for you. So I felt then the topic would be how do we phrase it? Lower your expectations, or appreciation comes with lowering of the expectations. So I feel like the person who does stuff for you, when they don't have to, you then show your appreciation by lowering your expectations. So now you can give the person some room because they've been doing for you for a long time. And I think naturally, I feel like people are advantageous. They will just keep taking and taking. Mm-hmm. So it makes the person feel who has been doing that it doesn't even matter because there's no appreciation attached to the things that they do. So this one was like a personal thing for me because I've had like a little couple trials and tribulations as of late with my peers and my inner circle, and it made me feel like all the things that I was doing was in vain because they just kept wanting more and more, and then when I didn't meet their expectations, then we have a fallout where we're not even like cool anymore. So that's why the situation was kind of like strange to me because I feel like, damn, like when you do things for people and you're doing it from the kindness of your heart, I feel like you got to just let that person rock. So if I've been picking you up, take you to school every day, and the day that I miss, you got to chill out. You can't be storming, you know what I'm saying, stomping your feet and having a tantrum because I ain't pick you up that one day to school. I've been taking you to school, bro. Like I got you. You my man, I love you, right? So why do I got to keep like doing it? I feel as if that person should say, nah, you know what? Homie been taking me to school all the time, man. You know, I just walk today. I get on the bus. You know what I'm saying? But people don't do that.
It absolutely does not work that way.
Why don't they do that?
It does not, because we're humans. And I think a lot of times people, because the expectation is so high, like this person always does this person is reliable, this person is always going to be there, like this person never misses. Then once you get that level of, I guess, reliability, then it becomes the expectation that is the new norm. So once you get to that part, like for example, like if, like, and I'm gonna shout out to my ladies. I ain't shout my ladies out in a long time. But the ladies, like shout out to my ladies. Like I think a lot of time mothers have a certain expectation, and even in relationships, even if they're married or if they're a single mother or whatever the case may be, they have to always show up and always fulfill and always provide. And provide doesn't necessarily mean monetarily. It can mean just providing for whatever it is that the child needs. And I think a lot of times, men, and I'm not trying to come down on y'all, but I'm just saying like the expectation is that my baby mother is going to handle it, or my wife is going to handle it, or my girl is going to handle it. And you don't necessarily think about the necessary provisions that she had to do to make said thing happen. So now that has become the expectation. And it's cool to some degree because it's always what they say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if that baby's my baby.
So if
I'm
that's
the baby
just
pappy boss.
If that's just what it is, that's just what it is, and that's just one of the double standards of things that's just probably never going to change. But the appreciation part is key, and I think that's what lacks. So like to bring it back full circle, to use your example, like yes, because you are always taking said person to school, that has now become the expectation. And when people expect you to do something because you always do it, it lacks in appreciation.
Right.
which is sad. I mean, and I think as a whole, people need to like appreciate people more. So like the whole new thing now is like, yo, give people their flowers, you know, like yeah, like it's true. Like I'll out of the blue, I'll text somebody and just give them their flowers because you want to be able to appreciate your peoples and like but we don't do that. We just keep it going, and then like the expectation is that's just what they're gonna do. Russ is gonna pick me up. Russ is gonna take me where I need to go. Every time we need to go any place anyway, he's always the person that's gonna take me where we're going. So now for you to do something outside of the norm, which is the expectation, you tripping, not them.
Right, but that's why I wanted to do this episode because I want to say to people like, we are grown. Those small minded ways of thinking have to change. Like
I agree.
Society is evolving right now. If you're not really aware, like everything is changing. Everything is super sensitive. Everything is raising your hand and saying something.
That would be the seesaw.
Right. So, but I need people to say, I'm gonna be appreciative. Like I'm gonna respect the handle that people have placed in the situation. Like, and I feel like we don't. And I understand the whole premise of like you don't spoil a child because the child is going to be later going to kick your ass. Like that's what happens. You spoil a child, see later they whoop your ass. They do bad things to you because they don't appreciate, they don't value anything, right? But we're adults now. That kid shit is different. You know what I'm saying? I know if you're saying like I spoiled the person for taking to school every day, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that doesn't apply to adults anymore. And we gotta like normalize that. Like yo, saying thank you and appreciating people. What's so hard to appreciate people?
I don't think that's realistic.
How we gotta grow as people?
Absolutely, but just because you grow in length or you grow in numbers or whatever, it doesn't transfer over to like growing in appreciation.
No, it doesn't. But that's what we're talking about. So that's what I'm trying to put this in the universe.
Well,
so maybe someone will listen because
that would go back to being human, and humans just don't do that.
So I'm not human. I appreciate people that do things. I'm human.
But see,
I'm human.
Okay,
I'm human.
So you would be the percentage of people that actually aren't.
So let's get that number up.
Are appreciative about other people doing things for them. That's just not how it is. If you're in that mind frame of what is considered the social norm, you're not getting appreciated. You gotta eat that. Maybe you should scale back. Like how many of these, like to go back to my mothers, shout out to my ladies, like to go back to my mothers that are actually working hard to make sure that the provisions are made. Like it's things that I'm sure that you don't think about that your significant other probably does that you don't even think about that's taken care of. But you don't appreciate for the things that she's done. You only doing it because she always does it. So you're going according to life, according to the way that things are already mapped out. And that's just how it is.
Mother's Day. I get it on Mother's Day.
Get the fuck. One day a year.
I get it on Mother's Day.
364 days. You like, man, fuck off. But then like the one day she gets that.
You push the puppy out, I appreciate you.
Come on with all get out of here with all of that. Right? Like, nah, this is it's sad. People just don't appreciate what others do for them. That's the bottom line.
So that's what we started.
That's just the way that it is.
I feel like if you don't appreciate the person who raises your child, you are a delusional human being. Because it is a lot to raise a human being. To make a whole person and to raise them up to where they, you know what I'm saying, are functioning, just living and taking care of themselves. That's a big task. So if you are a father or a mother and you're not the one, the custodial parent, the one that actually raises the child, you have to have a whole level, a lot of appreciation for that human being that takes care of your child. And we do take that for granted because you have breasts. So you already, like God already gave you the reason to take care of the child.
Oh my God.
Yes. I mean, God gave you those. God told you you got to feed that baby. God already told you that.
But
God told you that.
It goes further than that.
That was a joke.
I get it.
That was a joke.
It goes further than that.
Yes, but you know what I mean, though, right?
I get it.
So God already told you that's your job.
Okay.
Right?
But still, like let's break it on down to like simple tasks, right?
Break it on down.
We break it down to like something as simple as like doing overtime, right? So your boss comes to you, you're at work, and they like, hey, can you do some overtime tonight? And you're like, Sure. Because that's the way that your life is set up. The mother can't do that. You know why? Because she had to pick that kid up from school. She had to pick that kid up from daycare. She got to make sure that all of the necessary things happen so that that can be seamless before she can just agree to do overtime. It's something that simple. But men don't think about it that way.
Why are you making this a man and woman thing? You
I'm
are
not,
bugging right
I'm
now.
not.
You just said you want to go for the man,
I'm not.
but you keep saying man and women.
I'm
You're talking
not-
about
I'm not
people.
talking about-
But why you keep putting that dynamic, yo?
But what I'm talking about
Golly.
is appreciation. And like, you know, I'm talking about appreciation. I'm talking about the expectation. You expect, because I have breasts and the breasts are to feed the child, that everything from there is my sole responsibility, and it's not a shared responsibility. And it's fine if that's what you want, that's the way you want to carry it. But please appreciate the necessary things that I needed to do on my end to make that happen, regardless of what.
All right, so I got you. So we're gonna go away from this man bashing thing.
I'm not
doing.
man bashing.
You are
I'm just
man
using
bashing.
that as an example.
2 times, it's over now. We have
It's the
a
same
short,
example.
Right, we have a short podcast. We don't talk forever, right? So kids can be running the
Oh
same
my-
damn point over and over
because
again.
you don't
right?
like redundancy.
No, I don't want to hear that shit no more.
Yeah,
Like, all
it's
right.
probably hitting home. That's probably
No,
why.
first of all, I'm very appreciative. Like I take care of all my peoples, like all my peoples. Everybody that's probably watching this podcast that knows me knows that I take care of my peoples. That's just a fact.
Okay.
I can stand
So
in
you're
that.
not
You know
in
what I'm
that
saying?
group?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the people that don't, and I
You
think you're a bad
you on
person.
the other side.
Word. I'm the one that's not
Not
getting
being
appreciated.
appreciated.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Got me crying that night. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tearing up and shit. Like,
You want
damn,
some
bro.
flowers.
I don't want no flowers. Just leave me alone. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want, like, I'm not the type of person that want no praise, right? But don't be looking for me to do everything either, too. Like, give me some grace.
Okay, so
give
then
me
maybe
some
you
grace.
should
That
just scale
word.
it back a little bit.
Right,
Maybe
now-
you should, even if you can do something, maybe you should be like, nah, I can't do it this
Right,
time.
that's what I
so
tell-
then that way you don't build the expectation.
That's why I tell you about my kids. Like, I don't care if I got $1 million in my pocket. I'm telling them no, and they might cry sometimes. We gonna go to Five Below? No. I got mad money. We're not going. I want them to understand no, and the pain that comes along with no. I can afford it, but we gotta say no. I didn't realize the power of no until I really had a kid, because I come from, a rough upbringing. So I'm thinking like, everybody needs something. I gotta help people because everybody need help. I needed help, but nobody was there to help me. So my warped way of thinking was, I'm just gonna take care of everybody because I remember not having, right?
Okay.
But then
That's a you thing.
that's a me thing.
Okay.
But now in 2022, like, my eyes have seen the glory. And now I'm like, yo, fuck all that. I'm doing the sucker shit from Instagram. I'm returning the energy that comes to me, right? I'm matching that shit. I'm not doing nothing extra for some people. I told you before, we had this conversation, like, we go to the club, bottles is $500, everybody got $100, I got $100. If it only got 4 people that got $100, we just don't drink.
Oh, you're not coming over.
No, I'm not putting that other $100 up no more. That's
Even if
dumb.
you got it?
Even if I got it, I'm just looking around. Everybody else looking around. I ain't got it. Times is hard, man. Kids is grown. They gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning that now. But I feel as if we have to be more appreciative of people, because that's what fuels the good energy, right? This energy still gotta keep going, because a person feels depleted when they keep taking care of niggas and
absolutely
don't get
agree
nothing
with
back
that.
in return. That shit get to be like, come on, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I absolutely agree with that. Let me ask you a question.
That's whole shit.
So, in your experience or in your life, do you have people that actually be like, you know what, I appreciate you, Russ?
They don't say it, but they show it, so it's okay. Like, they might not actually say it, but they show it. So
Okay.
they
That's
show their
fair.
appreciation. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't really want much. Like I said, I don't like the limelight. I don't like to be the center of attention. I like to be off to the side. So you could just tap me on the shoulder, like, you did good, kid. And never nobody ever got to ever know about this shit. Nobody got to know about that shit. But if you told me that, I'm with you, dog. But
Good looking.
people don't even do that. Like, you know what I'm
Good looking,
saying? Good looking, Rush. Yo, this was fly. You ain't got to do no big hoopla. You got to do card, no candy, nothing. Just
Okay.
head nod.
Okay.
So
I
you
like
did
that
good.
too. So
Word, that's
I
all you.
get it.
But people didn't give you that. They be like, the nigga supposed to did that shit. Be like, yo, how you figure I'm supposed to do that?
Yeah, we do that. As people. I don't, but we as
Word.
people.
And if you want to go into the exchange you said about the man and the woman, right? We have different opinions, right? there's a lot of expectation now, like currently, like about men having to do certain things, like having to make a certain amount of money. Like, so that's the expectation. We are supposed to be the provider and you got the breast. That's what I said, right? So, but it's not fair because a lot of times the woman with the breast is making more money than the dude who got the able body. So the way society is, all this stuff is different now. It ain't the same like before. So like I said, as time changes, we need to grow. Like if you don't grow, you're dead, right? So you can't just grow, like you said, grow in age. You gotta mature, you gotta level up, you gotta be better, right? And I think people are stagnant. What you tell me? Paralyzed. People are paralyzed, right? Right? People are paralyzed in that same position. So you need to take that energy that someone's giving to you and you got to give it out. So you got to be like, yo, this person looks out for me. I got to look out for them. I got to help them. I got to, like, wow, that's a simple concept.
It really is.
You believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay. So if the Bible says, like, one of the first things the Bible says is do unto others. The first thing. Everybody knows that shit. Why can't you concentrate on that alone? Do unto others. No, we don't do that. As you would want them to do unto you. That shouldn't be common sense.
It's simple.
It's simple. Oh, this show is sponsored by Simple. You cut the check?
No.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail. The check is in the mail.
I cut the check.
The check is in the mail.
Okay, well then yeah. Like,
but I ain't got a bank account right now. It's not set up right now. But I got a check though.
Black businesses.
Don't do that. Don't do that. The check is in the mail because I'm gonna write this check out to Unlevel Podcast.
Thank you.
And you take that check. It might not cash, but you give it to Blas Studio. But just tell them don't cash them for about 2-3 weeks. Cause that's how people do, right? Hold on to this check. Hold on to this check.
Don't cash this till the 15th.
To the 15th, because that's when the money gets deposited, direct deposit. Because right now, nothing but fumes in there. But I digress, right? I digress. The point is, we gotta help each other, man. I really feel like strongly about that. And because I feel like that, it has severed some friendships of mine, like put some space in between me and my people that I care dearly about.
So do you feel like you need to hey, let me pull you to the carpet and pull you up on something? Like the things that I do for you, I don't have to do. And explain to them like, hey, I do this because I love you, or I do this because I know you need it. But not necessarily like I do this because I have to do this. You say that?
No, because that's kind of like ego driven to me, right? I don't want to come from a space of like I'm doing something for you. I feel like you should know you're a grown human being. If you don't know that someone is doing something for you, then I don't need to give you my energy. I start saying like this, put my hands up. This is my new thing. It just
doesn't work like that. People get so caught into their minds and their way of doing things that they're not paying attention to the fact that you're doing something for them because you love them or because they need it. They're doing it because that's the expectation of it all. Like that's the unlevel seesaw.
Right.
That's just what it is.
But the seesaw don't even move back. It's just like the fat kid and the skinny kid. Like the fat kid just sit on the bottom. Like
it's very true.
So the skinny kid.
I ain't never gonna get a turn.
Word, I ain't never gonna get a turn because I don't weigh enough. You know what I'm saying? Used to be that kid. Yeah, I bet you was.
I know.
I bet you was. You at the top like.
Right. I used to be that kid.
They gotta put their feet up and push. And shoot it back up, right?
Like, can I get a turn? I'm in the air all day. Like, that's the way it was.
Damn, you was in the air all day, just stuck up there.
Yo. I don't got no weight.
Yeah. Well, you need to be on the swing. That should be your job. Swing or...
You digress.
I'm just saying you need to be on the swing.
That's a level. I was in the air all day.
The swing, because then it could push you hard because weight don't really matter in the swing. Just push you really, really fast. But the point still remains that the moral of this particular situation is to respect and appreciate the people that do for you when they don't have to. And you don't have to pay them back, but give them a little leeway and give them some understanding. That's what I think that I'm trying to convey to the people right now.
I agree.
You understand?
I agree with that.
And this show has been sponsored by Simple, but don't cash that check for 2 weeks. Big Queens. We out. Pop, pop.